Hi, my name is Nick Poore. I'm a solutions architect on the IBM jStart team. Our team primarily focuses on emerging technologies to address immediate business needs. We work with customers to help them adopt emerging technologies. Oftentimes we see patterns from our customers where they all have a similar problem. When we see these common patterns, we try to develop solutions using emerging technologies to resolve this repetitive pattern. Beacon is an application we built based on a common problem we saw from our customers. One pattern we are seeing from customers comes from the line of business users. With data everywhere and line of business users having a need to know what's going on in the data, we built Beacon. So why Beacon? A typical problem we hear from customers is that line of business users need to quickly get a gist of what's going on, but they don't have the technical skills or access to a technical team to do impromptu customizations to a tool. Beacon was developed to help line of business users create their own applications where they could take a data source, apply some analytics, and then visualize the results. How does it work? Beacon is accessed via a web browser. It's a tool that allows line of business users to build the entire application and start to see results of what's in their data in minutes by allowing them to drag and drop components of the application into the runtime where they can wire them together. All this can be done without writing any code. However, if Beacon doesn't support your data source, the analytics you want to use, or the visualizations need to be modified, Beacon does support a plugin model that allows developers to add their specific components they need. Let's get into a demo and see how users would actually build a Beacon application. I'll start with the resources that we're going to need for this application. We have two pair files here, which are NLP models, natural language processing models. One's for sentiment, one's for categorizing, and then we have a properties that are used for the Twitter API. To create a new model, we just click the New button. First, you see on the left here, we have all the components you can use. We have importers, we have utilities, and we have visualizers. First step is pick your data source. In this case, we're going to use Twitter Streaming API. On the right over here is the properties for this component. We're going to first select the Beacon local properties for authentication. And we're going to select a selection on the map here. That's where we want to get tweets from. Next, we're just going to put a simple visualizer into our runtime here. This is just to demonstrate kind of the flow of an application. So in order to wire these together, you just click the arrow and drag it from the out to the in. You'll see all the properties that are flowing from Twitter. These are all the things that you get from the Twitter API. We want to take a look at the text, the tweet ID, and the author. Then you just save your app, give it a name, and start it. It's that simple. Now we have our first Beacon application up and running. Now to look at the visualizer, you click on the UI tab, and we'll see the tweets flowing. These are the tweets that are happening in real time from Twitter API. Another feature in the editor is you can actually see some sample data from each component. So if you click on the component, highlight it, then you click on the sample data tab, you'll see some of the data that flows from the data source here. Now let's add a little bit more to our model. So first thing we're going to do is stop the model. The icons underneath each component are shortcuts to the components on the left. So we'll just click one to add a new component in this model. So we'll select the UEMA analyzer. Then we need to select the field that we're going to do our analytics on. We're going to do the text of the tweet. Then we're going to use the categorization pair file we uploaded earlier into resources. And we're going to use the only annotation that comes out of it, category. Next, we're going to add another UEMA analyzer, this time for sentiment. Again, we analyze the text of the tweet. This time we use the sentiment model. And the only annotation in there is sentiment, so we'll select that's the one we output. To demonstrate how we can do multiple things with the same data source, we will add an in-memory counter to the UEMA analyzer that's doing the categorization. This will simply keep a running total of how many tweets we have of each category. You see here we have all the fields coming from Twitter and the UEMA. We want to count the categories. And then we want to add the bar chart. The label would be the category from UEMA, and the value would be the total number account of each category. Finally, we're going to add our sentiment dashboard. Now we set the properties for the dashboard. We need the text field, which comes from Twitter. We need the category, which comes from the first UEMA component. And we need the sentiment, which comes from the second UEMA component. Now we save it and run it. We'll verify that we have data actually flowing now. Look at the streaming table. Now go back and look at the bar chart, and we can see the total number in each category of tweets that we have so far. And we'll check out the sentiment dashboard. The donut charts are broken up into categories, and then you see the sentiment within those categories, and you can see these adjusting in real time. You select any of the donuts and you'll see the tweets flowing at the bottom. I just used Twitter today as one of the data resources that you can use with Beacon. You can also use database importers, CSV importers, HDFS importers, all types of importers. Wherever your data is, you can get it into Beacon. And once you have it in Beacon, then you can use all the analytics and visualizations that are available to you in Beacon, or add your own custom ones. Feel free to drop me an email or check us out on our jStart website at ibm.com/beacon. Thanks.